Going to a high of 25 on the 7th day of August. Rick Spence is here. He's the entrepreneurship columnist for the National Post, and Richard Waters, president and founder of Phantom Glass. He is a 20-year-old entrepreneur. Good morning.
Overachiever. This is what I'm looking. I got my eyes on you, friend.
I know, this is where we start to feel bad about ourselves again, Al.
I have done nothing with my life. We're talking about youth unemployment, and let's start with you, Rick. How tough is it for new grads to find work out there?
I think they're having a lot of trouble. Employers are holding back. They haven't been investing. A lot of people haven't been growing. And the kids are not getting the good jobs they used to. And the non-business segments, schools and universities have been cutting back as well. So there's not a lot of jobs out there. On the flip side, there is so much more interest in entrepreneurship now, and there are so many tools to make it possible for people to make their own job, and that's really making a big difference.
So, Richard, you were at university. You decided to leave?
Yeah,
Yeah, and you'd been working. You entered into the workforce, decided to leave the steady job to pursue your dream of being an entrepreneur. So talk a little bit about your product first. What did you do?
Okay, so basically, I was at U of T. I was working at RBC, and one thing led to another. I had a few ideas, and turned out that I started developing this product with a factory overseas. And
so it just popped into your mind?
Yeah.
The idea that you need some kind of glass to protect your phone.
Well, I hated the films that I had. Like those, they take forever to put on. They're really annoying to use. Your screen looks all, just murky. Yeah. So. What I did was I said, well, it would be great if we could have glass. It's super clear, awesome, it would be amazing. So what we did was started developing the product, and one thing led to another, and I sold I guess I had like a prototype packaging that I went, on my days off from RBC, I would go to the buyers and sort of pretend like I was doing this full time, and
wow.
they said yes, and one thing led to another.
So this is really the classic case of finding a niche out there, finding something that people want, and creating it for them. Because there's already, I think, I agree with you, these plastic film things are terrible. It drives me crazy. So find something and make it.
Yes, but here's the thing. Everybody has a good idea. Few people make it into an actual tangible product. So I'm curious about, and I'd like to hear almost from both of you. First, Richard, what the motivation was and how you found the courage to walk away from a predictable paycheck. And then, Rick, a question to you after is, can you teach entrepreneurship? So,
yeah, interesting. I didn't want to walk away from a paycheck because it was funding my business. It was, a year's worth of paychecks that got me started. But what it was is, when you have a good idea, I think a lot of people get caught up in having a good idea and thinking it's great, convincing themselves it's amazing, and then what they wind up doing is they fall in love with owning a business and not doing the work, not doing what's supposed to be. They want to think about how many exposed brick walls they're going to have in their office,
right.
What they're going to do on the lunchroom, how many employee benefits there are going to be. The reality is there's a lot of work that has to be done before you can get to that point, and it's going out and doing it. That's really the scary part for a lot of people.
Can you teach it?
Absolutely. The way you teach it, though, is not the same as the way you teach accounting. It's a very different thing. The way you teach entrepreneurship is by telling stories. You tell stories about people like Richard, who had this idea, started contacting manufacturers overseas, got some technology, got it customized, worked on them to customize the technology, and now has the guts and the brains to bring it to market. And you tell these stories, and all the people who said, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know 20-year-olds could do that. I didn't know individuals still had a role to play because the rest of society isn't telling them that. They're saying, follow the rules, stick to your knitting, don't get too big for yourself. But entrepreneurship says there are amazing people doing amazing things out here. You don't often read about them in the mass media, so you've got to study them on your own.
Okay.
Is that the future for young people, for young grads, that they're just not going to see the kind of cradle-to-grave employment that previous generations have?
Well, I remember writing about the lost generation who couldn't find jobs back in 1984. So this is cyclical, and jobs will come back. But the difference now is that people know they have an alternative. And now they know that entrepreneurship can take you to amazing places. it's like your phone. You can use entrepreneurship to pursue your interests, whether it's computers, whether it's retailing or distribution or working with people or working in the trades. You can use these tools to leverage your own skills into a business, and people don't. Once they start doing that, they don't go back and work for someone else.
Right. Let's see it work. So it's called Phantom Glass.
It's called Phantom Glass.
So you can see through it, but also it will protect your phone if it drops.
Yes, 100% clarity, zero image distortion, super impact resistant.
Carlo, get over here.
Yeah. You have a
All right.
hammer with you.
Are you going to smash this thing?
I'm not going to smash it. I'm going to protect it from smashing the Phantom Glass.
Yeah.
Do it.
So what I have on my phone is actually something new that's coming out very soon. We're going to do colors. So the original one is clear. You can't even notice it on your phone. You can see the metallic border around mine. But
Yikes.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can really go at it.
Wow, and nothing happened.
No, nothing. My phone is totally good. And
Okay, now try mine.
Yeah, I know. Contrasting
No,
compare.
seriously, I don't want it anymore. I only get email from work. I don't want it.
you know what? Like, ever since I started doing this, it drives me crazy because everywhere I go, I look at people's phones and I'm like, oh, like, you got to peel that film off. And I see yours. You got to take care of that.
Yeah.
I know, just a mess. That's a great story. Rick Spence, entrepreneurship columnist for the National Post. Richard Waters, president and founder of Phantom Glass, just 20 years old. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks so much.
7:28. We'll be right back with a look at your forecast. That's
I tell you now.